Finance in a nutshell is the allocation of scarce financial resources in an attempt to optimize the benefits that we can get. So we have at least 12 different career fields that finance majors can enter into. Our most populous is called corporate finance, and that is when a finance professional graduates and goes to work inside of a corporation or a private firm and does their best to help that firm produce as much value as possible. The second and that's 27% of our students. 16% of our students go into investment banking or some form of investment banking. And this is where you help other firms raise capital, perhaps through an initial public offering, or other firms buy each other. And the third most popular is real estate finance. And this is where you invest in real assets such as apartments or shopping complexes, etc. The skills that our students will develop primarily, and the first one we're really wanting them to learn how, is to think very critically and very carefully as a financial economist. So that is the primary role. Now, of course, we train them in skills as well. We train them in financial models, we train them in asset pricing, we train them in financial models, we train them in advanced Excel skills. But what we really want our students to be able to do, and we feel this adds the most value to our recruiters, is to be able to think very carefully about financial economic problems. What makes our major different than other similar majors? I'm not really informed on what the other majors do or how they place, but I'm familiar with finance. And I think probably the biggest separation point, at least that we can measure, is that our annual average salary upon graduation is $77,600. I feel that's high from the data I've seen everywhere else. The second area that I think might be different is the collegiality that our students have, particularly with the faculty, but also among themselves. We have the Finance Society, which is an amazing model for a club. It has different subsidiaries for the different specialties of finance. The club was really redesigned and engineered about 15 years ago by Professor Kim Smith. And Kim has decades of experience on Wall Street, and he adds that value to our students. And on the corporate finance side, we have Tina Ashby, who is our placement director, and she has decades of experience within the corporate finance sector. So I think perhaps the strength of our placement, the strength of our internships, and particularly our on-campus internship with Professor Smith, I think perhaps those are unique to our program. To be honest, our major's been going about 5 or 6 years, and in the old days, we really had to recruit students to try to come in. Now that we're a closed major, we actually have to say no to a lot of qualified students. So I think now, as opposed to pitching it to students on the elevator, I try to answer questions on whether it will be the right fit. I steer a lot of students to the other business majors. Just this week, I've steered 2 students into accounting because I thought it was a better fit. I steer a lot of students into marketing or supply chain management or strategy. So for me, I would say find the fit that is the best. You'll get a really good feel for finance when you take your Finance 201 classes from either Dr. Holmes or myself or Professor Larson or one of our other springtime teachers. And if you have questions, we have the Advisement office on the 6th floor of the Tanner building, 610 Tanner. That is the finance programs office. And what you really want to do is say, is it going to be a good fit for you? And in finance, we call it a mover and a shaker. You have to be a mover and a shaker. We don't have just a few really big companies that come to campus and buy all of our students and hire them. That doesn't happen in our major. You really got to be able to get out there. You have to have people skills along with your analytical skills in order to get a great placement. Now we have over 98% placement or something very high, but all of the, that I understand, all of the majors in the business school have these very high placements. So to me, I would say find what you're passionate about, find what your fit is, and if that is finance, we would love for you to apply.